Welcome to our U.S. Briefing Show. Today, we've got a mix of heartfelt stories, international diplomacy, and trade tensions that are shaking things up across the globe. First up, a touching story about Heidy Sánchez, a Cuban-American mom who was deported from Florida to Cuba, right after building her life and having a young daughter here. Her story highlights the emotional toll of immigration policies, especially during tense political times. Next, we dive into Hong Kong's social scene, where letters from residents emphasize the importance of understanding Islam as a peaceful religion, advocate for better healthcare access, and promote a positive image of the city. It's all about fostering tolerance and practical improvements in a vibrant, multicultural city. Finally, in international trade news, U.S. President Trump is proposing a bold move, a 100% tariff on foreign films, including those from China, sparking fears of a new trade war in the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, in China, top military leaders are under anti-corruption investigations, which experts say actually strengthen President Xi Jinping's control rather than weaken it. Please continue to watch for more details. CNN reports the heartbreaking story of Heidy Sánchez, a Cuban mother deported from Florida to Havana, who was separated from her 17-month-old daughter, Kaylin, despite both her daughter and husband being U.S. citizens. Sanchez's journey to the U.S. was fraught with danger, fleeing Mexico due to threats from cartels, and she finally achieved her American dream of motherhood after years of hardship. Yet, her life took a tragic turn when ICE agents detained her during a routine appointment, forcing her to surrender her daughter to relatives without clarity on whether she could take her along. Despite her pleas and humanitarian concerns, her daughter being breastfed and suffering seizures, Sánchez was swiftly deported, leaving her devastated and in a dire situation in Cuba, where power outages and shortages worsen daily life. Her family hopes public support, especially from the Cuban-American community, might aid their reunification, but Sanchez's suffering underscores the harsh realities of immigration policies that tear families apart and ignore individual humanitarian factors. South China Morning Post emphasizes the importance of not judging Islam by the actions of a few extremists. The letter highlights that Islam is a religion of peace, with principles rooted in compassion, justice, and harmony, and condemns violence and terrorism. It draws a parallel to Hong Kong's diverse society, where negative traits do not define the entire community, and stresses that extremism is a global issue, not exclusive to any faith. The letter warns against the dangers of Islamophobia, citing recent violence against Muslims, such as the stabbing in a French mosque, which underscores how prejudice fuels misunderstanding. It advocates for education and dialogue to promote a nuanced understanding of Islam, emphasizing that genuine believers reject violence and that misinterpretations by extremists should not tarnish the entire religion. The message calls for sensitivity in discussions about religious freedom and security, ensuring that Hong Kong's diversity is celebrated and protected. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation covers Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's positive exchange with U.S. President Donald Trump, describing the call as very warm and highlighting Albanese's upcoming diplomatic priorities. Despite the friendly tone, Albanese clarified that his first international trip after his election would be to Jakarta, not Washington, and confirmed plans to attend the G7 summit in Canada, where he might meet Trump in person. The discussion touched on contentious issues like the AUKUS alliance and U.S. tariffs, with Albanese criticizing the 10% tariffs imposed by Trump but expressing willingness to negotiate. Trump, meanwhile, downplayed his influence on Australian politics, calling Albanese a friend and praising his leadership, while also noting he was unaware of the Australian election outcome. Albanese's focus remains on regional relationships, particularly with Indonesia, emphasizing the importance of strong ties in a geopolitically complex region, and demonstrating a pragmatic approach to diplomacy amid positive personal rapport with the U.S. leader. The South China Morning Post reports that Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has fostered a positive rapport with U.S. President Donald Trump, emphasizing ongoing collaboration on key issues like the AUKUS Defense Alliance and tariffs. Following his decisive electoral victory over the conservative Liberal National Coalition, Albanese highlighted a warm conversation with Trump, thanking him for a congratulatory message and discussing future face-to-face engagement on defense and trade matters. Despite domestic concerns over Trump's policies, including tariffs that stirred global markets and affected Australians' pensions, Albanese maintained a friendly tone, with Trump praising Albanese's respectful demeanor. The election results showed a significant shift, with Labour leading in most electorates, partly influenced by the Trump backlash, which analysts suggest may have cost opposition leader Peter Dutton his seat. The renewed focus on defense spending, particularly the $368 billion Australian dollar commitment to nuclear submarines under AUKUS, underscores Australia's strategic priorities amid global uncertainties. The South China Morning Post also details President Trump's provocative move to extend his tariff war into the film industry, threatening to impose a 100% tariff on foreign-produced movies, citing concerns over Hollywood's overseas competition and the decline of U.S. cinema. Trump claims that foreign nations, especially China, are luring U.S. filmmakers abroad with incentives, and he aims to protect American cultural dominance by making movies in America again. This potential tariff marks a significant expansion into services trade, where the U.S. traditionally enjoys a surplus, notably in film exports that contribute significantly to the U.S. trade balance. China, already retaliating with restrictions on U.S. films and imposing tariffs on American goods, could escalate its own measures, including export bans on critical minerals and halts on Boeing aircraft deliveries. Hollywood's reliance on the Chinese market, which has been a major revenue source, faces uncertain prospects as Beijing's policies tighten, potentially diminishing U.S. film exports and impacting the industry's global influence. According to the South China Morning Post, China's anti-corruption campaign targeting top military officials, including members of the Central Military Commission, signals a complex power struggle rather than a sign of weakened control by President Xi Jinping. Recent investigations have led to the removal of key figures like Defense Minister Li Shangfu and CMC member Miao Hua, with some high-ranking officers missing key meetings. Analysts argue that these actions are part of Xi's broader strategy to consolidate loyalty and modernize the PLA, using anti-corruption measures and military reform to purge disloyal elements and strengthen his grip. While some interpret these crackdowns as signs of internal competition among Xi's supporters, experts assert that Xi's authority remains unchallenged, citing his strategic appointments and the ongoing push for military modernization. The internal tensions are viewed as a natural part of the power transition, with the purge potentially enhancing Xi's influence rather than diminishing it, as the military continues to prioritize training and Taiwan deterrence efforts amidst the political upheaval. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that Sean "Diddy" Combs, once a titan of the music industry, is now embroiled in a high-stakes federal trial that could reshape his legacy. Charged with serious crimes including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, kidnapping, and arson, Combs faces allegations of orchestrating a criminal enterprise that involved forcing women into sex acts with male sex workers, supplying drugs, recording encounters for blackmail, and intimidating victims with weapons. Witnesses, including his former girlfriend and protégé Cassie Ventura, are expected to testify, revealing allegations of rape and physical abuse that Combs has vehemently denied. His fall from grace is stark, with his net worth plummeting from over $1 billion to just over $600 million, and he is currently detained in Brooklyn's notoriously harsh Metropolitan Detention Center. The case, expected to last over 2 months, has attracted intense media scrutiny, highlighting the stark contrast between Combs's former glamorous lifestyle, filled with star-studded parties and associations with celebrities like Beyoncé and Leonardo DiCaprio, and the dark allegations now facing him, which could result in life imprisonment if convicted. Meanwhile, the ABC also covers New Zealand's dominance at the Women's Sevens World Championship in Los Angeles, where the two-time Olympic champions crushed Australia 31-7 in the final, reaffirming their status as tournament favourites with a commanding display of power and skill. Led by star players like Georgia Miller and Sarah Harini, the Kiwis showcased their relentless prowess from the start, with Miller opening the scoring early and Harini sealing the victory with a try that brought her to tears, an emotional testament to their hard-fought triumph. The match was a showcase of New Zealand's tactical brilliance and team cohesion, promising an exciting future as they aim for a third Olympic gold in Paris. On the men's side, Australia's team finished 6th after a narrow loss to France, ending their season with a mix of disappointment and hope, having come close to advancing further and showing resilience despite setbacks. The tournament underscored the fierce rivalry and high stakes of international rugby sevens, with the upcoming Olympics in Los Angeles in 3 years serving as a powerful motivator for the teams to elevate their game. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Morning sunlight on the street, city whispers soft and sweet, faces mix in daily grind, every story intertwined, cultures blend like colors bright, languages in the silent night, on the table stories told, food and feast upon so bold, people living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society in rhythms beat, entertainment's fleeting heat, echoes of wars and fears, laughing through our unseen tears, children playing in the park, drawing dreams till after dark, elders speak of days gone by, washing shadows from the sky. People living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society